Hey guys, it's Kevin with Spirit of Twilight and also Kevin.com. This is my second attempt to wrap the small mini Labradorite and also Herkimer diamond into a pendant. So, I'm going to get started with that. Over into the frame. Hi guys, how are you? So, what I'm doing is I'm taking, again, this is 18 gauge titanium wire. And it is a protective wire, so it has a coating, it has a copper core, and I like to use copper core wire when creating my jewelry. So this time I'm going to be making probably a pendant that you've seen me do, or a wrap you've seen me do, but I've never done it live. So I'm actually using also this 24 gauge titanium protective copper wire as well. But I'm going to make a pendant wrap that I like to call infinity because it looks like a number 8 or the infinity symbol. So I'm just taking my wire and my tail and wrapping my tail around to make sure that it's secure and I don't poke myself. Good luck with that while I'm wrapping. And just making sure that it's flat against. Okay, and we're going to push these together. And I'm only using 2 pieces of the 18 gauge at about, maybe a foot, 12 inches about. And I'm only going to be doing a very simple wrap with this. So this is going to be a long video, at least live-wise. But I am determined to get this done. Because again, I usually don't use small little stones when I do my wraps, but in this case, I was at my supplier and they had these beautiful stones and they were smaller. So I'm going to try doing this in a beautiful little wrap. So I'm just going to do my design. It's going to be very simple. And the hard part about this is getting it started because your hand can cramp up from holding the wire so tight. But I'm pretty much used to that at this point. We're just doing 2 wrapped around, and then we're going to do 3 and 3. So I got 3 small ones. I started off with 3 big ones, wrapping around both wires, pushing them closed, make sure they're tight. And if you want to watch this video later, I'm going to upload it to YouTube. But I'm going to be speeding up the video so you don't have to sit here the entire time. Watch me do this wrap. But I've done it before. And I tried to do a wrap where there was a back base if you were watching live previously on my channel here. And it didn't work out. So I want to do this wrap instead. Not because it's something that I'm really familiar with, but because it's overall a better design and it holds the stones a lot better than my previous attempts. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap these like I normally do. I'm going to try to be as quick as I can about it. Again, so you're not sitting there all day. And it's already after 2 o'clock. Unfortunately, my supplier doesn't open until 11. Go. So again, this is an 18 gauge and a 24 gauge copper core wire with a titanium overlay, and it has a protective barrier on it, which this wire I found by the way of another YouTuber, and they love the company, so I decided to try it. Because as you guys know, I do use solid copper raw wire or raw copper wire, and also sterling silver. And again, as I mentioned in my previous video, fortunately the sterling silver is not selling as much as I'd like it to because it is expensive, so my price does increase based on the product that I make. So I'm going to be pretty much using it for people who are calling or emailing me about a piece that they're looking for specifically with sterling silver. And the copper, of course, I'm going to continue to use that because I love using raw copper. Because you can tarnish it, you can antique it, you can polish it and keep it beautiful, whatever you want to do with it. But in this case, this is a protected wire, so this one will never need polishing. And according to the YouTuber and also the company that I purchased this from, this wire also stands up to very acidic skin. And it also is kind of hypoallergenic, to my understanding, so it won't cause any green rashes on your skin from wearing my jewelry. That's the last thing I want to happen. Based on my reputation, how hard I work in order to maintain that reputation. So I want to buy the best quality product I can get my hands on, even if it costs a little more. Also provide a product that people want to buy, and I don't have to charge an extensive amount of money in order to give you a great product. Now, I also have found out from my supplier that they may be doing a vendor fair / vendor event soon. So you can look for me in the Orlando area if I'm able to join them, which I should be able to, but I don't know when this is going to be. So for me, because I don't have a vendor license or retail license, I have to go to other businesses and ask them if I can rent a space to showcase my creations or sign up for a vendor event and showcase my creations at the event directly, which I am registered in the state of Florida as an LLC under kevhen.com or Kevhen LLC, but Spirit of Twilight is based off of that brand, or the brand Spirit of Twilight is based off of that company name. Okay, so I've got quite a bit done so far, which is a good thing. And trying to keep everything go, wrapping quickly. And my hand is cramping up like crazy, but that's besides the point. This isn't a hand cramping video, this is a jewelry design video. Ha ha ha, I'm going to suffer. Okay, so there we go. There is the piece that I'm going to work with. As you can see, it is a very nice yet simple wrap design. If my camera would just focus like a good camera that it is. And it's not doing so, yippee-ki-yay. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our design. So what I'm going to do is I have this little tiny itty bitty Herkimer diamond, and I have a Labradorite, tiny little piece of that too. And the Herkimer diamond is raw, so this is going to be easy to wrap. The Labradorite, however, is polished, so it's very, very slippery. And if you saw my previous video and live session, this is the actual casing I had them in, and it looks terrible. I didn't want to use it. It's not good quality. It's not the type of product that I like to have and have people buy from me. So I scrapped it. And I do that every so often with my designs because if people aren't interested in the design, they're simply not going to buy it. And that makes perfect sense. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a little loop, okay, from my wrap or my weave. And I'm going to flatten that out slightly. Make sure that the design is still visible. I'm going to use, probably better for the Herkimer diamond. I'm going to use this for the Herkimer diamond to start off with, but I'm going to open it up a little more. So we're going to take this and just extend it out. Pushing that piece over. There we go. Would this fit better for the Labradorite? No. Undo this and there we go. So that's actually better for the Labradorite. And that was my main concern because this stone, again, is extremely slippery. And that was one of the bigger problems that I had when I was trying to create a setting for it in the other design. It looked sloppy because the stone kept slipping. So I wanted to make sure that I have a setting that's actually going to work for the stone itself. So let's take that out. And I'm going to tighten this up. I'm going to wrap the back end tail pieces of when I started my wrap. I'm going to take that and move it around forward. Okay. And I'm going to clip those off and put them very discreetly behind the pendant. So we're going to take this and pull that up, clip it. And same thing with this one. Pull it up, clip it. And take those pieces, put them on the side in the scrap pile. Take my two pieces here, like I said, and just push it against the back of the pendant. Make sure nobody gets scratched. Go. And this will be for my Labradorite piece right here. So before I continue, I'm going to go ahead and secure the Labradorite into the frame. Now, Labradorite is slippery, so I'm going to bend the frame upward a little bit, all the way around. Like so. Make sure it still fits. Okay. I'm going to place it upside down so I know which side is which. I'm going to take my Herkimer diamond, pull that out of the way, and then I am going to take another piece of my 24 gauge round wire, probably about 1.5 feet, and I'm going to start weaving this into the back because I created this front frame and made a bevel so it won't fall through the front. What I need to do is go ahead and make a discrete wrap. in between my weaves. I like Elmer Fudd there for a minute. Make a discreet lap in between my weaves. Okay, so pull that tail up and through, and I'm going to pull that back like so. So this starts the beginning of my actual wrap itself, and you really can't see the 24 gauge wire in this design. Unless you are looking under a microscope, which I probably need at this point in time because my vision is not so great anymore. So we're going to pull it through this way. We're going to go through the center of the setting itself instead of going through the wrap. And I'm going to pull that snug in place next to the other wires so it's very discreet. Like so. And I'm going to do that again. Again, being very discreet in placement of the wire. There we go. And I'm going to take my Labradorite and hold it on the back. Turn this over. I'm going to pull. That's what happens with this Labradorite. That's a good setting, or should I do? Which side is flashier? People like the flashier than Labradorite. I'll be this side. Okay. So let's take this piece. Set it the way you want. And then you're going to take your first wrap or stitch on the back. And again, this can get tricky when you're first starting with a small stone, especially if they are polished. Take this and wrap it through the front. Do that first. Let's wrap that. And then what I will do, keeping it close, is slip the stone in there. Underneath the actual wrap itself. And come on, you said you liked this. Get in there. And pull that tight. Hold your stone in the front. Again, you really don't know what's going to happen at this point because it's just one little weave that you've got going on here. And as you can see, it's trying to slip out of the setting. And you wonder why people charge so much to do this. Okay, so I think it's good. I'm going to pinch this close a little bit more. Now, pull this across. Flip it underneath. One tight. stone just doesn't want to sit in this setting. What is going on today? Okay, there we go. So we'll put that in there like so. There we go. Now we're getting a little bit of a rhythm going. Okay. So the back has a tendency of looking like a mess, and that's perfectly normal. It's perfectly fine. Nobody's going to be wearing this backwards, I hope. Which is funny because I had somebody on YouTube who I sent my items to, gave instructions based on how they should be presented, and they screwed it up. They showed the back as the front of the stone or the front of the pendant, and I was like, huh, okay, that was interesting. So we're not doing very well as far as that sponsorship was concerned. That ended very quickly, very suddenly. The person was kind of shocked that I stopped my sponsorship with them on having them show my jewelry on their channel. Um, it was actually kind of funny because it made them look really dumb in a way, unfortunately. But let me cut this off because it's getting a little mangly. Push this through again on this side. Hands are cramping up. Yay! There we are. Finally. Pull that through, and my stone is falling out yet again. What is going on? Today is just not my day. At all. Alright, stone. Get in there. I've had it. I feel like I'm talking to my cat. Alright. Stone is in there. Pull through again. I usually do not have this much trouble. Comes to this type of wrap. The stone still looks good. That's fine. Try doing this. See what happens. That's much better. So now the actual stone is staying in the setting. Wow. I don't think I've had this much trouble in a long time. AKA when I first started this years and years ago. So welcome to the reality of wrapping jewelry. This part is sticking up, so I want to put another piece, one more crossover on this little wrap on this guy because this one seems like it likes to creep out when given the opportunity. wrap over there. Put one more wrap over here. Again, these stones, when you're wrapping polished, slipperier than slippery stones, this becomes an issue. And so I'm just tangling your wire. Okay, so that stone is definitely in there. It's not going anywhere. The setting is all good. Phew! I'm gonna cut this right here. Put that to the side for later. And I'm gonna try to push this through one more time. Doesn't want to go. There he is. Okay. Got him there. Make a little spiral or tuck. Push that under the other wires to make sure that it does not come loose in any way, shape, or form, and there is no sharp edges. Okay, good. So now we have our Labradorite. Phew! In the wrap. So now what I'm going to do is put the Herkimer diamond in there. So I have to continue this wrap here. In order to create the setting for the Herkimer diamond. So we're just weaving in the same pattern as what I was before. 3 around a single wire, 3 around both wires. And the Herkimer diamond is not tumbled, it's raw, which helps tremendously in setting the stone. For your pendant. Alright, so I'm going to finish this off right here. Because Herkimer diamond is smaller. Straighten these out like I did before. Let's go on the front. So as you can see, it's almost like an infinity symbol that I'm making, which I can straighten out if I need to. I think I will actually. So now our wire from before is popping out, so let's make those all snuggled up and safe. Okay. And Herkimer diamond. And place this one here. But I really would like to put it on top. Show that the stone works. So we're going to do that. There we go. Take these and bend them back. Pick up the other ones. Okay, let's go ahead and get this little guy in his setting. And I don't want to use this anymore, so I'm just going to chop that off and tuck it. It's too short to do anything with. Behind those wires so it stays safe. Okay, so now let's grab more of the 24 gauge titanium wire, about the same length as before. Actually, I forgot I had this one left over, so let's not do that. Let's put this wire back and save it, because I had some out and I didn't realize it. I should have been streaming for quite a while. And this is going to be my last pendant of the day, so I'm going to cap this shut. There we go. Okay, so this is the other 24 gauge wire that I was using previously. And we're going to do the same thing as we did before. First, let's straighten this out. This looks kind of weird. There we go. Now that these are out of the way, all nice and straight, pretty. And we're going to tuck this up, just like we did the other one. I'm going to go down first instead. There we go. Okay, so got a little tail. Wrap this around. Just like I did before. And you want to make it very discreet. Go. Get my diamond ready. Okay, so now the diamond is going to be laying on top instead of it being underneath. I really liked it. I like it underneath because it protects the stone per se and allows me to weave from behind. But this particular stone, because it's so pretty, and I want the light to catch it, I want to put it on top compared to the Labradorite. Because the Labradorite, you can see it. It's really pretty. It's there. You can't miss it. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this beautiful titanium wire over the stone instead of underneath. And because we're going over, we have to be very careful not to put too many pieces of wire over the diamond, because then it will lose the shine when people are looking at it or when they're trying to wear it. So I'm going to pull this through, get it very tight. And because it is a raw stone, it's so much easier to wrap. Stone popped up a little bit because I'm poking from the back. And from here, we're going to go ahead and wrap around this side of the stone. Now what I'm doing, if you haven't noticed, I'm not doing a simple wrap. I'm actually crossing over my wires. And the reason for that is because I want to kind of create an actual setting like you would see on a setting for a pendant or a ring. So I'm creating a barrier on top of the stone that appears to be a cage, as so to speak. So again, we're going through the bottom. Stone out of the way a little bit. And this needs to be straightened again. Getting a little mangly. And that'll also strengthen the wire a bit. Pull this through. You heard the wire pop a little bit. That's perfectly normal. Okay, I'm going to move it over this way. Back to the original starting point. So I'm kind of creating a triangle over the stone to hold it in place. With this discrete wire. So that goes under the previous wire. There we go. And I'm just going to do one more little crossover in the front. Just to make sure all is good. And that there are no issues with the stone coming out. Okay. That is pretty good. It feels good. It's a little bit wobbly, so let's do one more crossover here. I hate to do it over the stone, but this is a little wobbly and it makes me nervous. I can take that piece that I just put over the top of the stone and move it slightly to the side. Okay, so now what I want to do before I actually end the Herkimer diamond weave is to strengthen all of the wires on top of it. So I'm going to take my flathead nose pliers and I'm going to twist little wires ever so slightly, as close as I can get to the actual base of the setting. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's creating a barrier around the stone, but it's also creating a tight feel around it. So now the stone is in there, it's not going anywhere. And most of the stone can actually be seen now instead of it being directly on top. So it looks a lot better too. Okay, phew. All right, so I got this piece here. I'm gonna put this through one more time. Just to make sure everything is secure and safe. There we go. As you can see, both stones are in, both stones are secure, both stones are safe. Labradoraite has a beautiful flash on it. Herkimer diamond is gorgeous, the way that it is standing out in the front. And I am going to create my bail, which is going to be up here. So I'm going to do, since this is a little messy, oops, I forgot about this piece. Let me get that tucked in. That was our tail when I started off. Putting the Herkimer diamond inside of the setting. Take this and curl it up and put it to bed. There we go. All right, so I'm going to take this piece again and wrap it over the front because it does look a little sloppy, and that's not my style of jewelry making. Go. Okay, so now we can create our bail. Now I'm going to use the leftover tail from this piece to secure these wires into place for the bail. So, and I'm just going to do a very simplistic wrap on this part here, just because I've done so much down here, it may be a little overwhelming. So we're just going to wrap this around both wires. And try to keep that as flat as possible. And the reason why I'm keeping it flat is because I'm going to actually make another loop out of the bail. But it's going to be not just a regular loop to go to the back, it's going to be a side kind of loop, which looks kind of pretty. I've done it on another Herkimer diamond pendant, which the stone is a lot larger. I actually have a moldavite that I haven't wrapped yet that I need to do wrapping for, and that one's probably going to go into sterling silver because of the stone being so expensive and people loving the moldavite stone for some reason, which I think is a very pretty stone. I just don't understand why people are going crazy for it. I mean, I understand, let me rephrase that. I know why people are going crazy for it. There's just so many other stones that have similar properties to the moldavite stone itself. And I have a love as far as green stones are concerned. That was my mother's birthstone, and I absolutely loved it. My mother hated it. My birthstone is garnet, but she hated her birthstone. She loved mine, and I didn't hate my birthstone. I thought it was a really pretty color of red. I love garnet, but she preferred to wear my birthstone, so I decided to wear hers years and years and years ago. Okay, so this particular bail is going to be a little different to make it look antiqued. I'm going to just wrap it this way around, and I'm going to slightly twist it. So you can still put it on a chain, or you can still put it on whatever you want to put it on as far as the pendant is concerned. But it's just a little bit more detail and simplicity to give it more of an antique look to it. And I absolutely love, love, love antique looking jewelry so much. It's so pretty. All right, make sure everything is secure. The stones are still secure. They're good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take our little bail that we have. We're going to call fishing, which is just to wrap it up into the bail itself, which gives this piece even more of an antique look to it. There we go. And then we're going to tuck it. So I want to pull this really tight if I can. Make it look very smooth, very pretty. just going to take this. And I'm going to cut that off a little bit. That's a little too much. There we go. Take this inside and tuck it into the bale weave itself. Sure nobody gets nicked. Nobody's harmed. Okay, so I still have these leftover pieces. And if I want to, I could do something with it, such as create an outline for the bottom piece like this. If I take this and cross it over in front of the Labradorite and move it around like this, I can do that. I can take it and do a tracer around the other pieces, like so, which actually I kind of like. Let's straighten these out. It doesn't make a tracer out of it. I like that. That's pretty, actually. I'm going to keep that. Okay, so that would be sneaking behind the other piece. And I actually could do that over here as well. On this side of the Herkimer diamond. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Looks very nice. I like that. I'm going to take these and wrap these around the front. And end my piece right here. I'm going to separate these for a second. Tuck this one in because it's so short. And take this piece and just make like I did with the other one. Tuck that in. Oh, there we go. So this is a pendant that I call Infinity Pendant, just because of the shape that we have here. And I'm going to push these up a little further. And push those back. Go. And trace that around. Cinch these a little bit. Cinch this one too. Do the one, you gotta do the other. There we go. So that makes it look a lot better. And that's my piece as far as a Herkimer diamond and the Labradorite, which is absolutely beautiful. It's shimmering, it's pretty. This one is very well made compared to the other one that I did. So I'm very happy with this piece compared to this one. This one was a piece of junk. And so this one I've just made. I'll put this on my store. And it's not going to be quite as expensive because it's not silver as far as 925 sterling silver is concerned. But it is a very, very nice piece to have. It won't tarnish. It won't do anything as far as needing any upkeep is concerned. You could wear this for years and years and years. And it would be perfect to add to a special someone's jewelry box. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.